Hello and welcome to the Horror Hound Podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Tim.
We are four guys that talk about some horror movies. This week, it is a I got a pick. It's a Tim pick. We're gonna talk about it. Tim,
Sorry.
tell them what your pick is. Oh well, you know.
My pick is the Little Mermaid from 2024.
You like fish sticks?
I've seen that South Park episode. Do you want me did you want me to tell them about my pick? Is that what you wanted?
No, I was just having you know, whatever you wanted to
It's
say.
Little Mermaid from 2024.
A whole new world. Duet, Jeff. Duet me. Wait, is that Little Mermaid?
That is Aladdin.
Shit.
I do not know what the Little Mermaid song is.
I don't either.
All the Disney princesses have a song, though.
There's a lot. There's Just Kiss the Girl. There's Up Where They Run, Up Where They Play All Day in the Sun.
I kissed a girl and I liked it. That one?
Yep, that's also one of them.
Tasted like lobster tail.
Okay. By the way, this show is sponsored by Old Road Rum. If you've not had Old Road Rum, you should get Old Road Rum. Old Road Rum. It's a whiskey. It's a rum and a whiskey. It's alcohol that was in a barrel that they found. It should say old barrel of alcohol because, I mean, is it rum? I don't know.
Found it behind this distillery.
Their tagline is, did I just dream of an old evil mermaid? No. You just drank Old Road Rum.
That's probably correct.
Was I the only one that was very like, either it's the filmmakers that put this in here or Old Road Rum really threw money at them being like, show
It's
this
like,
bottle.
You're
good.
really selling out, man, and that's just not cool.
It's the voice of a new generation.
Gotta love some Wayne's World references in a horror movie. I'm sure that's what they were doing.
You sure about that?
Nope.
You fucking with me?
Not even a little bit.
That seems a little more nuanced than I would give credit for.
Did you email the director?
Yes, several times. He was very gracious. The writer-director Lee Scott was very gracious, and I had a bit I was going to ask him for, and then his legit answer made me laugh enough that I couldn't like ask the guy to do a bit and then turn around and shit on his movie.
That's fair.
I got you.
That's pretty fair. But you got some correspondence with the director, our second director we've had on this show. Look how fancy we are now.
Kind of our third, because we got Dan Brousseau with Chemical Imbalance, which is finally going to be released this year.
All right, Tim, this was your pick this week, so give us that back of the box, that back of the VHS box kind of description.
Man. Actually, it's not that hard. So a archaeologist, Dr. Eric Price, uncovers some ancient ruins and much very coincidentally meets a beautiful woman that takes an interest in him. That seemingly, well, actually, she's the mermaid because it's the very first scene. But he doesn't know, right? So seemingly takes an interest in him. But for sinister means, we find out at the end of the movie. So, yeah.
I hate to actually you, but his name is not Price, it's Prince. Eric Prince.
Oh, Eric Prince.
In the cartoon,
I'm sorry.
His name is Prince Eric.
Correct.
And also, I missed the first part, and I still knew she was a mermaid, because mermaids are notoriously low talkers. And that bitch, I'm like, what is the fuck she's saying? Can she speak the fuck up a little bit?
Also, it was real husky, too. She's like, hello, Dr. Prince. It's like, are you a vampire or are you a mermaid? Like, which one is it?
There was some, speaking of that, there was some dubbing parts in this movie where they went back in and redid, the audio. Maybe the ocean was too loud, so they're like, we got to redo this whole fucking thing, you guys, walking down the beach. That was when I really noticed it. Is when he's
they
like,
dubbed in the beach. There was also quite a few script mistakes where they got words flipped around, and that made me laugh so hard. Oh man, I mean, I know it's hard to like catch that sort of thing in an edit, like especially when you have like a low budget and a small crew and stuff. So, but there are two instances towards the end that stood out to me very prevalently, where the what they were saying was the opposite of what they meant, like via context clues. It was pretty funny.
let's get into it.
And I'm not gonna lie, whatever cameras they filmed this with, I kept waiting for the Cinemax Thursday nights movie to start, and it never did.
Me and Dave talked a little bit about what this movie didn't have, and I thought maybe there was, but we're not sure. So we're gonna need you and Jeff to kind of help us.
Oh yeah, there was a little bit of boob, but it was very brief.
A flash at the start, maybe.
Yeah, but no, we'll get into it. Well, yeah, but so some things that I was curious what you guys thought. I felt the lowest point for this movie for me was the writing. I didn't really like the writing. The actors were pretty bad. But I kind of expected that for like this kind of movie. They had bad acting, because like...
Now hold on. When they first get her out of the water, the guy, the fisherman, gets her out of the water, and it's something big. He puts less effort in that than I do for a joke. He's also like, his reaction when he gets the death bite is like as extreme as 10 out of 10. No notes.
Yeah, it's no notes. It's so good. I am curious, like the acting was very cheesy. I did think that the Christian, okay, first of all, the main guy, Eric, I need to lower my camera. Eric Prince definitely looks like Christian Slater. Did anyone else make that notice?
I have a couple things that he looks like.
Yeah, I thought he looked like Big Lots Bradley Cooper. I was just wondering, were there no actors available that were capable of fully opening their eyes at any point?
That's why he looks like Christian Slater. He looks just like Christian Slater. He even does like the sideways like mouth talk that Christian Slater does. I was like, holy fuck, who is this Big Lots Christian Slater? I
thought he had facial features of about, I don't know, 10 at least, like Hollywood people. So Bradley Cooper, yeah, so I'll put Christian Slater on there. I thought, in certain angles, he reminded me of Hugh Jackman at the beginning, not so much as it went on. But, Glenn Powell from the Twisters movie, I thought he looked like a lot. A little McConaughey, a little bit of that in there.
Yeah.
So have you seen his IMDb page? His IMDb page is a modern Renaissance man. They're all kind of shit. But listen, hundreds. And then the upcoming, more hundreds. Dude's not hurting for probably money. He's rich as shit. I got a feeling. Ladies or men, I don't know what he's into. Go get him. I tried to get myself. Ladies, go get him.
As I'm rubbing my boob, trying to itch my nipple.
When I click ladies.
Speaking of nipples, that dude had some giant nipples.
Oh, did he?
We saw his nipples at one point, and I was like, those are kind of big nipples. But no,
not the titties we wanted.
So what did you like? I thought the best actors in the movie. I really liked his right hand man, the Caribbean guy, Archie or something like that. I really liked him. His comedic timing is really good. What'd you say, Jeff?
Richie.
Was his name Richie?
I think so.
I don't remember. That sounds right, Richie. And then
IMDb lists him as Archie.
Archie? Okay, I thought it was Artie. Archie, which is a weird Caribbean name. But I also thought that the chick who played with the exception of like her intimidating scenes, the chick who played Aurora, she was a pretty good actress. Like she was like, what's the word I'm looking for? She clearly conveyed that she husky.
Busty. I don't even know who. Busty. I don't know who we're talking about right now. I'm a little bit lost.
The mermaid.
Oh, okay.
Aurora, the mermaid. I thought that the points where she was trying to like basically like seduce him and like that she is evil, but she's trying to seduce this guy. I thought that it was a good play between like the audience knows she's evil, so she played into that, but also I could see how that dude wouldn't realize it. I thought it was decent. So I liked Archie, and I liked her character play. I thought that was fun.
I gotta say the Rasta guys, the Caribbean guys. I don't. If there was a plot in this movie, like other than oh no, there's a mermaid. It must have been delivered by them because I feel like I missed most of this movie, and I watched the whole movie. It was very weird.
It was a subplot of government corruption.
Yeah.
And,
the mafioso plot in the background.
Are you fucking with me?
Plot. No, there was a whole landowner plot. There was a whole like giving donations to a fucking shady organization to keep digging and stuff like that. Yeah. That was the best part of the movie.
God damn.
It was only like for the first like 40 minutes.
That was 75% of the movie.
Yeah.
This movie felt like it was forcing me away from it.
So Dave, what were your favorite actors in this movie? I'm curious.
I thought Aurora was okay. I severely needed her to speak up. That was not great. I couldn't hear her. When I could hear everyone else talking normally, she's whispering in husky voice, so I couldn't do that. I like the guy that played Dr. Prince, just because he was low budget movie guy. Like he is.
Yeah.
Every low budget movie has to have one guy he's not good looking, but like housewives think he's good looking.
So funny thing about him, at any point in the movie were you like, I feel like he's going to rob a bank and Keanu Reeves is going to show up? Johnny Utah is going to show up and bust this guy. I just got like these weird, like early, not what was the guy's name? But I know
Patrick Swayze
in the movie. Patrick Swayze. I got these like weird Patrick Swayze vibes when they're on the beach every once in a while. I was like, Johnny Utah is going to show up and bust this guy. It was amazing.
Well, that's what I was
But I
saying.
kept-
Like he's got at least 10 Hollywood actors. We can add Swayze to
for
that.
sure.
We can add Swayze to that. Oh yeah. ChatGPT, go ahead and load up 7 different images of Mark, whatever his name is, Markov,
Zuckerberg.
Dylan Markov, Mike Markov.
Jeff, what was your favorite actor in this movie? It's Slim Pickens, I know.
Slim Pickens is actually dead, so he can't be in the film.
Shit.
It would have been better if Slim Pickens could have been in the movie, though. I like the boat driver. I thought he was really good.
The boat driver.
Oh,
You could tell that the boat driver was like hired the day before and given a script and was just like, all right, I'll say these words.
I'm not much of a reader per se, but listen. What does that say? Or
How about Sebastian? Can we give it up for Sebastian? He had to play human mode and fish mode. I mean, come on.
I looked up that guy's IMDb specifically, and he has done a lot of horror movies. Sebastian something Aro. I remember his name. I looked him up specifically.
No, that's not his name. It's Stan. He was in the Marvel movies, I believe. He's in the new one.
Oh.
Thunder Crackers or whatever. Thunder Chips. Whatever. It's not horror. What do we need that for? Anyways. I got to put one thing, because this is way at the beginning. Ish. But I thought it was pretty funny, and it's such a pointless moment. My idea of it. But they're at the dig site, right? And he's like, they find the body. It's like, it's mummified. I'm like, dude, that's buried. That's just straight ass buried. That's not mummified. That just was dug up. You dig up a bone that your dog just buried, and you're like, oh god, ancient mummified remains.
It was also 3 feet below the
Yeah,
below the ground.
that was funny.
Apparently, the ancient worshippers of Dagon mummified the body and then put it on top of the temple, because that's where they were digging, is right above the temple.
I like when they call out a cornerstone of the temple. A cornerstone is literally one of the 4 stones that hold up the building from the bottom. And that was not a cornerstone.
I mean, it's not just a stone on the corner?
No.
Now,
But,
did he
yeah,
say Dagon? I'm pretty sure he said Dagon at one point, and I'm like,
Dragon?
that's exactly what I thought. Dragon? Keanu Reeves.
Yes, it
In-
was
in
definitely
Dagon.
tied to Dagon, though, yes.
Dagon?
Oh,
Dragon?
I
They all
liked
said differently.
I liked that when that came up. I liked that, and I would have liked to seen a little of. Give me a little Dagon in the movie. Don't just mention him. Give me a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that was the other thing I wanted to bring up is like I thought the plot of this was pretty solid. It just wasn't executed well. Like I like the idea of it. Like I think that's cool. The idea that we know who the bad guy is, we know who the good guys are, but like we know who the bad guy is, and like watching them achieve their machinations is kind of a cool plot device, but it just didn't land.
Well, you're right. We all know who the bad guy was, Dr. Eric Prince, because his sexist attitude towards the female digger. He's like, keep going. You're doing pretty good for a girl.
Fun fact, during my gaming stream, I point out misogyny. Like, oh, yeah. There's also a great early 2000s video game Max Payne move, and I'm like, God, early 2000s, what a time to be alive.
Amen, brother. Speaking of early 2000s, in some kind of a way, I wanted to talk about, we get her underwater, like when the team is out on the boat. Listen, you were talking about earlier, like the cameras waiting for the Skinemax to begin. But with those Skinemax cameras, I have to say that I don't know, like, the shutter speed or aspect ratio, or if it was shot with the intention of IMAX, or, like, I don't know what the movie magic behind it was. But they captured pure, unadulterated swim speed like it's never been caught when she would go by. It barely looked like she was drowning. And
No, I was going to mention cinematography was one of the things I wanted to mention. The cinematography in this movie, it's okay on the above land scenes, but the underwater stuff is real not good.
Underwater is pretty hard to shoot, and in my email correspondence with Lee Scott, he actually said that that was a mistake that they didn't have the budget to go in to fix, but the color coding when they edited the underwater scene was not great. But he said the divers, the stunt girls, the camera operators were amazing, and he regrets that it looked so bad.
That's
in the
fair.
finished product.
That's cool that he gives props
He
to
said
the
this
people
was his
that did
first
those
film
stunts.
shooting underwater, so he's got a pretty prolific IMDb page, and this was his first film shooting underwater. So,
Lee Scott, I appreciate the fact that you trump up your. I don't want to say trump up. That you lift up your. Sorry, Chris. That you lift up your crew there, because they are. That is. I can't imagine that would not be a fun, not necessarily a fun experience, but be a stressful experience. Try and film things underwater, because when you think about it, like filming things on land, you're really on a 2D space, right? Like you're on a flat plane. Things can move in certain directions on a flat plane. In a underwater space, it's a 3D plane. I mean, things can move in every axis. So that's pretty cool. They give them props. It wasn't well shot, but I can imagine the stress of that endeavor would be pretty high.
I've seen some behind the scenes stuff where movies have shot underwater, and even in like a James Cameron, all the budget in the world stuff, the general consensus is that if you have anybody filming underwater, no matter how briefly, and they're not in tank and mask, you are constantly on the verge of drowning. So, it looks beautiful, and the cinematographers are able to make it look majestic when really the actor or actress is on the verge of death at every moment.
well, I can tell you that the mermaid was close to dying every time, because it looked like she was convulsing more than swimming, but like a slow convulsing, like a lazy river heart attack.
She had to wave the fishtail.
But I'm saying, speed that shit up. It could have looked like it was from the 50s. I wouldn't have cared. But like, it's like she's attacking, but the divers could have went, and then.
The thing that didn't make sense to me is that why did she show herself at all? It didn't make sense for the plot. That's like where the plot sort of leaves me, is like, she wants them to uncover this. Why would she add any sort of like superstition or supernatural aspect to it whatsoever? Doesn't make sense.
Did you catch at one point after that first underwater scene where Eric Prince talks about, she saved my life, you don't understand, she saved my life, but it seemed out of context? So in the script, and I got this straight from Lee Scott, we had to cut out a big, this is a quote from his email, we had to cut out a big underwater fight scene between the mermaid and a great white shark because the producers didn't trust the CGI would look good. I thought it was great.
We need a director's cut of this movie. I need to see the shark fight so bad. If it's not like Deep Blue Sea, Samuel L. Jackson getting ripped into a water portal, it's bad. But because that's the best shark CGI that's ever happened. But yeah, no, that's.
Have you seen the baby sharks of Deep Blue Sea 2?
I have not.
That's
Baby
pretty
shark,
great.
do, like that.
Baby shark, do.
Jeff looks like he's gonna maybe
lo-
kill one of us tonight.
I've listened to more Baby Shark than in the last year than Jeff has. Probably not of all time, but at least last year.
My Spotify end of year stats would support that.
Yeah, as long as I'm on the email, can I bring up one more thing from the email
Yeah.
correspondence? With all due respect, I asked, at any point did you feel pressured to add throwaway characters just to increase the body count? Seems like a fair question, I thought. And Lee Scott, who, like I said, very gracious to answer our questions. You're Lee, you're a real one, working with no budgets here, but he said yes, 100%. The film was made independently, and then halfway through the post-production, Lionsgate came on and wanted more horror. Did you not give Lionsgate what they wanted? Because there is still not enough horror in this horror movie, Lee. I'm sorry. So, but Lionsgate, what's wrong with you, Lionsgate? You want more horror, but you cut the shark scene?
Now, quick question. Lionsgate signed on to this. Lionsgate has made some fucking bangers. So, I didn't see Lionsgate in any of the opening credits. So that's weird, unless it was one of their subsidiaries. Why? Okay. Lee Scott, thank you so much for answering our email. Why the fuck why did they sign on to this movie? Do we know that?
Oh, what I'm reading right here says, it's not Lionsgate, it's Lion_Gate. It's different. It's different.
It's something to do with a Gmail account. He gave him
But
$5,000.
Does Lionsgate actually have bangers? I mean,
Have you seen? Hold on. I can name one. Rambo was fucking awesome.
Oh, 08 Rambo?
has-
Yeah, it was fucking great.
have they had a banger in the last 15 years? I take that back because I think they did do the John Wick movies. So,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Now You See Me, which I feel is a very good series. They're
Yeah, I like
getting
Now You See Me.
Long Walk that is coming out is Lionsgate. I can't wait to watch that.
Saw
Flying
What is
Rib.
it? Sorry.
Hostel. Rambo.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah,
Lionsgate.
I knew they did Saw and Hostel.
American
Lionsgate,
Psycho.
I give you a gentleman's apology. I stand corrected.
Step Up. Step Up. That's a
Jessica
cheerleading.
Alba?
Is that a cheerleading movie?
No, Step Up is
No,
a
that's
dance
the
movie.
dancers.
It's with Jessica. I'm pretty sure Jessica Alba and Gambit are both in those. I can't remember Gambit's name at the time. Channing Tatum. They're both in that. Early 2000s. Yeah.
I was born ready, just like I shot out of my daddy's dick ready.
For show. No, the okay, so we've established the acting's not great. We've established I have established the writing's not great. The writing, the dialogue. What did you guys think of that? Anyone feel free to jump in. I have notes on this.
I
don't
will
have big
say,
thoughts.
I think that this is a product of a low budget or micro budget movie. Is
Sure.
You don't have the budget to show, so you're forced to tell more, and that doesn't make for exciting movie. But I thought that the overall premise was cool. I thought like the Dagon. I wanted to see more, even
Sure.
if you like. didn't shoot it underwater and faked it like a la Aquaman or something. I don't know, but I would have liked to got to see that temple. I would have liked to actually see Dagon. When they dug up the little trinket statue with the mummified body, I wish it had just been like the little Nemo fish on a pedestal very clearly. Like, just really hammer home that we're fucking Mickey Mouse in the ass right now. So
the thing that Ooh, not so deep. That's what I was hoping for. That's what I was shooting for. So please stand by. I don't get those often, but when I get them, I try to earn them.
That felt right. That just felt right.
Thank you. The one thing so there's two things here. Towards the end of the movie, they pull him out of the temple, right? He goes diving, and the worst actor in the movie pulls him out of the temple. I can't remember the dude's name. I think it's like Kobe or something in the movie. He's terrible. Pulls him out, and he's like, "Oh, you were in there for 2 hours." And he's like, "How? I was only in there for 5 minutes." Towards the end of the movie, he starts asking Aurora, "How did you do that? How did you make minutes feel like hours?" It's like, "No, dude, other way around. You made hours feel like minutes." And then,
Aurora, how did you make hours feel like minutes? Minutes feel like hours. Hold on. Flip that. Reverse it. Yeah. How did you do that?
Yeah.
You should have just asked that. Like
he fucked that up hard. And I was watching it and I heard that and I was like, wait. So I rewound it just to make sure that I was correct. Yeah, he totally fucked it up. And then the next one in the writing was the other doctor. I can't remember his name, but the other doctor that was his like best friend was like, some secrets should remain uncovered. It's like, no, dude, covered, not uncovered. They should remain covered.
We don't keep secrets in this family.
Exactly. Family. And then a fucking Chevy Impala just fucking blows by. But no, the only thing that could have saved this movie, in my opinion, it felt very much like a fucking like, okay, there's also titties, but there's thank you, Dave. For those of you watching or listening, not watching, Dave was grabbing his massive titties. The only thing is, if Sam and Dean from Supernatural would have pulled up at the very end and been like, we're gonna take care of this, I would have forgiven every fucking thing in this movie if they would have just paid them $100,000 each to show up. Dave is now trying to get Jeff to exclaim on his titties. I don't think exclaim is the right word, but you know what I mean.
I think that, yeah.
You sound like a president who just learned a word today and was trying to use it in conversation.
You got a word of the day calendar?
Exclaim, zombie!
Which, speaking of the science guys, they're the doctors. I forget which one it was. But he was talking at one point, and I immediately thought of RFK Jr. He's like, I'm already on thin ice with the science community. If they will kill me over this. I keep seeing his hearings on TikTok, and it just immediately, once he started like thin ice with the science community, I was like, that's real shit. That's real shit.
The writing. Anyone else have any thoughts on the writing? Like how? I'm talking about the dialogue in particular. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
It did seem wooden, but I think that's... I place a lot of that burden on the actors. You know, you can only write so much dialogue. You're conversing with yourself. Jeff, I want to get your input on this because you have the degree here, but you're conversing with yourself when you're writing dialogue. And so you depend on the actors, not just to say the words you wrote, but actually to bring it to life. And I think the actors did a poor job of that. But they were drunk on Old Barrel rum, so
Old Road
I don't
Rum?
think they were Old Road Rum. I don't think they were.
Don't shit on our sponsors.
I think they were actually drinking the entire movie. So, Jeff, tell us about the writing dialogue process.
Same as any writing process.
There you have it. We'll catch you guys next time.
I would say that the writing was okay. The delivery was poor. Again, I like the plot. I like the plot. I really like the plot. So like that speaks to the writing. As someone who writes a lot of like little backstory on Tim, when I write a backstory for like a D&D character, most people write like 2 paragraphs. I write like 10 pages. I really like backstory, like setting it up. I hate writing dialogue. I hate it.
As someone who writes a lot of Parappa the Rappa fan fiction.
Yeah.
Going in hot on Dave Solo.
Getting I do write a lot of D&D like fanfic for myself. I can read some to you guys at some point if you'd like. But
you write your own fanfic? Dave, sing Arms of an Angel.
For my characters, yeah.
For pennies a day. Wait a minute, I haven't got no Arms of an Angel.
Living in a lonely town.
For pennies a day, you can get hot, steamy fanfic written by Tim, for Tim, delivered to your inbox.
And I'm hot-blooded, cold-blooded.
I'm not going to write erotic fanfic, but
when I hear fic, I immediately put some dick with it, if you know what I mean.
Erotic fic, yeah, I got you.
It just makes sense.
But no, I did think the plot was good. So, okay, we've covered cinematography, we covered acting, covered the writing, the special effects. There is one scene in particular I want to cover here. It's the only scene I really want to cover because everything else is kind of trash. The scene where they cut the dude's jawbone and start ripping his skin off of his face. That was pretty fucking solid. I thought it was pretty good. Thoughts, opinions.
Blood's a little too red.
Yeah, there's that. Not in that scene though, because it was so darkly lit.
I was okay with it. I wasn't.
I'll say overall, I think this movie was probably about as good as it was going to be. Like, there's not a whole lot they could have done with it.
Hold on, Dave. What are
the pinnacle of potential?
Dave, what are the precursors for it's as good as it was going to be? What were the what were the not obstacles? What were the ingredients that made it as good as it was going to be? Budget.
Budget is the biggest. I mean, like, that is everything. Because without budget, you can't travel. Your standard cameras, like you probably have, like underwater cameras, that's a whole new level of budget,
right?
And it's not just a camera; it's an entire operation under the water, which adds to everything. It's probably adds a week of shooting. I would guess.
I would like to point out, and I went back and rewatched the underwater scenes a little bit. The underwater scenes were, especially with the mermaid, there were bubbles in the water. So she just dove into the water and they were capturing her swimming. It was, I paid attention to that because I was curious, like, how much of that, like, really was, like, not necessarily strenuous, but, like, I was paying attention to, like, how much, I don't know, vitriol do they put into this, like, to where they're like, I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna fucking swim up from the fucking coral bed and go up to the surface. Every single scene where she was swimming, there was bubbles in the water, and unless she had just jumped into the water, there wouldn't be bubbles. So it kind of took me off my.
I feel like bubbles in the water could come from equipment. Like, she's not the only one in the water. It's not her and a camera operator. It's always both team members there. And on a bigger production, they probably just CG those bubbles out. That's where CG and AI really can make a difference in a big budget movie that they're not going to have budget for here.
Sure.
It's the little touches. So.
Right.
Plus, I mean, have you ever like ripped a good one while you're in the pool, and it's like not one big bubble, but like a rapid fire of small ones? That could have been a thing too.
You don't even have to rip.
There's farting.
You just get an air bubble trapped in your shorts, and then you always wait till you walk up on somebody and then squeeze the air out at one time so they think you're farting off.
And then you grab their head and put them underwater as if to freak them out. And like, anyways.
I try to have it come out the front so I get the massage on the way out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's getting hot. It's getting
Chris
hot.
is trying to listen harder. He's like, what is this new technology you've just taught me about? Have the bubble come out the front.
So, I asked you guys before the show the pressing question. If you were going to make love to a mermaid, top half mermaid or bottom half mermaid? Go, Jeff. Money's no object. You can afford all the old row rum you can afford pre-making love.
You can afford $20, is what Dave is saying.
Can I get the question again? I missed it while I was kerfluffled.
You must make love to a mermaid. Your life and the life of everyone you know depends on it. Top half mermaid or bottom half mermaid?
Jeff's going first.
Okay, hold on. Top half is fish or bottom half is fish? That's what you should really say.
Well, I mean, top half means human top, and bottom half means bottom human.
Okay.
I would go with top half.
No explanation. Just keep it. No.
What's that?
Explanation makes it worse.
Who wants to go
Chris,
next?
what do you think?
You're
up.
Oh, me? I think that I would go fish bottom, not only for the comedy of. I'm going to explain it because you guys said I shouldn't, and so now I have to. For the comedy of it, because like I don't know how fish reproductions of eggs. Like, what even is an egg?
Okay. So there's that.
Yep.
Top half human, bottom half fish for sure, because sex has a lot of meanings, and I'm a torso man, so
That's the face.
Yeah, it's the face. I can't get all the torso. I try to wear like my most broad V-neck in congruence with this movie, just so I could have I don't have a tattoo over my bicep there, but you know, I don't have bicep, heck there. But yeah, no, top half human for sure. Dave,
Okay.
what's your pick?
I'm going to agree with Jeff and Tim, bottom half, because it already smells like fish. You go top half woman, bottom half fish, because it's going your dick's going to smell like fish either way.
Oh, I have to pick woman or man too?
Oh wait, is that part of it?
Yeah, I didn't know. He just said.
I just assumed woman. I'm sorry if
it's 2025. So
I
don't
still
do
I
that.
still pick the
You're
fish
right,
part.
You're right. Okay, so I would go trans woman top, trans man fish bottom.
You're doing trans stuff? What the fuck is happening?
There's a whole layer to this that we're not discussing, but yeah, no, totally.
We're getting canceled. This is the episode.
this is the episode. I fucked it all up, everyone.
Here's our names so you can know who to look out for next week. You can be like, oh, that one's not here anymore.
No, definitely. I mean, I couldn't. Sex is so many things, right? Sexual intercourse is so many things. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. No, Chris, doesn't have to be that.
I make sex with my heart first.
Right, yeah. But no, definitely like if you put my wife in like mermaid fish bottom, top half, yeah, we'll get there. It's fine.
I don't even know what's happening to the show anymore.
I don't either. This is a great question.
Can I tell you one of my notes that I didn't get to mention earlier because we
absolutely go.
We did the acting earlier, but I kind of did chronological notes as I watched it this time, and then didn't organize them into like cohesive thoughts. So I've just been having to scroll a bunch. At one point, I just had the brief sentence, "God, there's a lot of acting in this movie." You could substitute that with really talking, but
they really do a lot of like close-ups of the face and hold camera a lot, and it is not time well served. It is not good.
Okay, so here we go. Budget limitations again. Tracking camera movements are expensive. You set up, it's an entire rail system that has to be set up. There are some ways to do it low budget, and they obviously like didn't do that here. A lot of static shots, but it is more expensive depending on how you're doing it. Like I said, there are some low budget ways. I would have stole a fucking Aldi's grocery cart. I'd consider that a quarter well spent. Mount a fucking camera in it, and then dollied that motherfucker.
Police this guy.
Yeah. The issue I have with the camera holds are that like, okay, they have them on a mount, whatever. They're holding camera. They hold camera too long to like get the facial expression, and then it's like, it wasn't a good facial expression, so like, what the fuck are you doing right now? It fell flat when it came to the actors having to use their face to act as opposed to their dialogue. But yeah, I had another note. Oh, there was the underwater scenes where they showed the temple. And then I also have the Fishman makeup. I wanted to get everyone's input on the Fishman makeup. Let's start with Fishman, because I feel like there's hard arguments for this. I thought it was terrible, but I want to get everyone else's experience on that.
I agree with you. It's rubber mask. There was a little transitional mask too, like he went with a small transition, but
when he was watching them fuck, yeah.
I felt like he was one of the weaker actors, and I felt the rubber mask didn't do anything. To be honest, I've seen the work that Chris has put in on Frankenstein's and Freddy and Kiss masks or makeups and stuff over the years, and I would right now put my money on Chris to create something better.
Yeah, it was the fish mask was that's when it went into like Cinemax fucking special of the week, like for me. It was the fish mask. And the CGI harpoon that narrowly misses him as it flies off into the sunset. By the way, harpoons don't fly that far. I actually looked that up after the fact. I was like, someone show me a video of someone like launching a harpoon at 45 degrees. I want to see what that looks like. They go like 30 feet and then fucking dip straight fucking down.
I think they're built for a lot of torque in a short range so that they can travel through the water. But they're not built for flight.
Yeah. No, it was pretty funny. I watched that and I was like, okay, that's crazy. So then I've also watched like
it very much made me laugh. I will say that was a moment of levity.
Oh, it was great.
That I loved. Yes.
Also when they kill the landowner and the fishman, and he like kills the fishman with a pocket knife in the neck, just like kick, and that's it. That's all it took to kill this extra dimensional creature was a fucking knife to the neck as hard as I could. The breakout of the net scene towards the end and then like killing the two cronies was hilarious to me.
Have you never heard the old idiom, don't bring a knife to a fish fry? I think this is what it is.
I've heard it. I never saw it in action until this movie.
Jeff, rate that pun for me.
Couldn't hear you, Jeff.
3 out of 5.
That's middle of the road.
I think you got to bump that up a little bit when you forget to turn your mic on, but that's okay. We'll let it go for. Jeff's been dipping into the old road rum.
All right, so we covered acting, we covered writing, we've covered the plot. Actually, no, we haven't covered the plot completely. Chris, Jeff, you guys have not discussed the plot. Do you think the plot was good? Do you think that the story could have been better if it was done by a different studio, different movie house?
I feel like it wanted to be. Have you guys seen She Creature?
Sea Creature, no.
No. So it's like a mermaid movie. It's like way better. They try to do too much with the plot. With like, oh, it's the Little Mermaid. Oh, then we're gonna throw in H.P. Lovecraft. It's just like too much stuff that they just didn't really complete on. Watching the trailer for the film, it looked like a whole lot was going to happen. I'm like, I've already watched half this movie and none of this has happened. So then I finally finished it and was like, wow, yeah, they just built it up to be something and it failed.
Yeah. Chris, thoughts?
I agree with Jeff. I would recommend Dagon, which came out like 2001 or 2 or something like that. You can if you can get past the early 2000s like shot on digital of that time and some pretty bad CG, it's a better story than this. And it's not great itself, but I would say go watch that if you want to. But I know that like the shtick of this is like Little Mermaid, right? I feel like they could have leaned into that and made it more.
They could have had some musical numbers. That's the one thing I was missing from this movie was a musical number, and that fucking annoyed the shit out of me. Have them fucking do something.
And only 2 people were named in the movie. So there's
Right.
Sebastian and then Eric. Then everyone else had no affiliate names. So like maybe it's Eric Prince's friend is the seagull. I don't know. Trying to figure out who they might be from each movie.
We knew who the Little Mermaid was, and then that's it. So we knew 3 characters from the Little Mermaid. So, and I get that we're trying to like probably capitalize on the Little Mermaid like coming out in live action, which is how I found this movie, by the way. Is that my coworker was trying to find the Little Mermaid for his daughter. I was like, oh, this is it. Click, 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 and then played it, and it's like, oh, she's ripping a dude's throat out. This is not the movie I was looking for. Let's go ahead and go past this. And it was funny. I told him, I was like, we're doing the Little Mermaid, by the way, in the podcast. He's like, oh no. It looks really bad. I'm like, no, it was really bad. We're gonna do it anyway. No, it was really bad. And he was like, make sure you tell them that I didn't tell you to do this. I was like, no, they know. I picked this specifically because you found it as a turn of phrase for another movie. I thought it'd be really funny to review it because I'm sure it will not be great.
But look at this poster art. This poster art's actually pretty all right.
Dope.
There's a real shitty one too that are real bad.
There's one where she's like swimming at the camera with teeth and claws bared. That looks really cool.
And the teeth never come out. They come out
at the start
half as much as the poster. Do you have any of the poster images?
No.
Okay. I thought Chris was like eagerly working to pull up the other poster image.
Oh fuck no!
No, his eyes are his shades are cockeyed on his hat.
I can make it worse. This is how you know you're working with somebody creative.
Look like a character on Bebe's Kids.
Bebe's Kids. Oh my god! Memory unlocked, as the kids say. That came rushing back.
There you go.
Jeff, remember Bebe's Kids? You're of my era. We're the same. Don't remember Bebe's Kids?
Same.
We don't die, we multiply.
Yep.
Damn, Dave, do you know Bebe's Kids?
I know Bebe's Kids. Yeah, I'm a geezer and I know Bebe's Kids.
Oh, all right.
Dave used to house a lot of children in his house. We don't know why, but he did.
Mostly in the basement.
Lord. Jiminy Christmas.
I kind of feel like they relied on the shtick of the Little Mermaid to kind of maybe push the funding, and I wonder if they couldn't have made a better movie without that. I really wonder if that in the long run turned out to be more of a detriment. Now maybe not. Maybe that's
the locale. I thought spoke to like
you're looking in the future.
It seemed like the locale like spoke to a really good like slasher film. Like you had a lot of like close buildings, like downtown Louisiana, like a lot of close buildings and shit like that. I thought to me the atmosphere felt like a slasher film. And it just didn't deliver.
I would have liked to seen this more as a slasher film. Let her stalk people in boats and let her be Jaws without like take the cold open out and let it be a mystery of, is it a shark? Is it a barracuda? No, it's a fucking mermaid. I think that maybe you had something more there. There is a Sirens like series out now that's about mermaids. or about the sirens from Greek mythology. I'm halfway through The Damned, which is a Norwegian fishing expedition that's lets some people drown and then they get haunted. It looked really good. Came out in January, but I wonder if the pressure to do The Little Mermaid in the long run didn't hamper their effort to produce a good movie.
I think so.
And I'm not even saying that this is shit tier. Really, I wanted more, but for a lot of people, this is plenty of horror. I wonder if this is a lot of discussion this week related to Clown in the Cornfield about entry level horror. Is this an entry level horror?
So with the exception of the face ripping scene, which I thought was fantastic, I loved that. The horror in this is so minute. They're going for this like creepy atmospheric vibe, but it doesn't land, in my opinion. I don't like the horror in this movie. Lee Scott, thank you so much for answering our emails. I'm not going to rate this very high. The horror in this movie is very, very low key.
And that's why I wonder if it's not entry level, because to me, that's what. But I want more action. I still want more action. Unapologetically.
I wanted to see the harpoon enter dude's sternum and come out and kind of stab the mermaid a little bit. They didn't show that. They just showed the blood.
Why did they even have to kill their friend just to kill the mermaid?
Well, they did explain that. I thought the same thing. I was like, why did they kill him? The dude read the manuscripts and it said she has to sacrifice her true love to give Dagon life. So she had to sacrifice her true love to give him life. So they had to kill him. Him and her. I think they were going for both, but it didn't work out. But they had to kill him for sure.
Okay. I give that one. And that makes, that. I think that gives some more emotional depth. Hey, my friends have to.
They don't mourn him at all after the fact, so don't give it too much emotional depth.
Well, cut out some of the land bribery and stuff like that. Cut out some of that stuff. Give me some more action. Make it a slasher. Let her kill some more people, as if that builds up some power. Make it. Maybe she should have to drink so much blood to be able to take human form. So every once in a while she has to I gotta go and run off like fucking Batman.
I like that
instead
idea.
of
there was another note I had. The way she walked seemed very deliberate. It seems like the cinematography, they were trying to kind of focus in how she walked. It seemed very deliberate how she walked, like 1 foot in front of the other. There was no cadence to it. There was no I'm swaying my hips to look sexy. When she walked, it was 1 foot in front of the other. And I thought that was kind of a cool take.
I mean, would a fish that temporarily turned into a human sway her hips from side to side? Because that's not how fish swim. Right. It would be up and down. She'd be like some kind of weird fucking
And that's what it was. She was just walking. She was just walking deliberately.
All right. Well,
most non-erotic sex scene in the history of cinema.
Have you watched Transmorphers, Dave?
So, I wanted to ask him, Lee Scott, and I couldn't because I didn't. He was so gracious. I didn't want to overextend my ask,
Wakanda forever.
and but I really wanted to ask him, hey, could you shoot a quick video? And I was just going to tell him, my brother-in-law Chris went 20 years thinking he had watched Transformers when really he watched Transmorphers. Can you do a video that looks like you're apologizing to him, but then at the end tell him to fuck off? And I did. But if you look at his IMDb page, like he's living on the. I'm gonna rely on people accidentally renting my movie.
He has to know that's what he made at the time. Like he knows he's in the game of tricking people to watch that. So I feel like
Even this,
why does
Tim,
he not like?
Tim alluded to like somebody was looking for the actual live action Little Mermaid and accidentally got this. We have Jeff crying. Are you crying with laughter, please? Jeff, are you crying with laughter?
Of course.
Love it. Yeah, every like I don't remember what it was now because I'm too many Turkey 101s in, but I looked at his IMDb page and like, oh, this was a seminal movie in 2005. Oh, he did something that kind of copied that theme. Oh, this was really big in 2009. Oh, he also did this. So,
hey, I'll still give him more credit than Charles Band at this point. So go get him, Lee Scott. This is a better movie than any full moon movie I've seen in 20 years.
I watched a full moon movie this week.
I'm so sorry.
Because of this movie, Chris. Because of this movie. Hold on, I gotta find it now. And for some reason, I think I might be wrong, but I thought Lee Scott wrote or directed or had some part in Frankenstein Reborn. Yep, he wrote Frankenstein Reborn. And so I made Stella watch that one night this week. It is a full moon movie. And you talk about a tight script. That movie is like 60 minutes long. It's not even an hour and a half. And it is quite possibly the worst Frankenstein movie I've ever seen. And I'll leave it at that.
Lee Scott, do you want to direct my smiley face movie that I really want to do? It's really brutal. It's a slasher film through and through. The opening scene will sell fucking seats, dude. Just at me on Blue Sky. I will tell you the plot.
You better check some copyright because American Horror Story had a whole serial killer named the Smiley Face Killer.
There's ways around that.
3, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, because he wasn't even like what Tim has suggested, but I think we should do something. I think we should make.
We need to make a short form horror movie.
A one-shot proof of concept of Tim's smiley face guy with the blade.
It's so fucking scary. It's so fucking scary. I promise you, you guys will not think it's not scary. It's fucking scary. It's the Walmart logo, the old smiley face from back in the day, galloping on you on blade hands, slashing your throat. It's fucking horrifying. It's great. It's a dream I had, and I wrote it down. It's fucking great.
All right, well, let's rate this movie now and see what numbers Lord Lee has been blessed with. So, Tim, this was your pick. So I guess I'm going first this week. It feels so weird to go first. I don't even have a number written down. So I'm just going to fucking play it by ear. Dave always rates high. Jeff always rates lower than Dave, but higher than some other people. So I don't know.
That's a fucking wild card. He'll come in with a fucking surprise 9 on you, like bam.
Is it tonight? Is it tonight? No, probably not.
Jeff, if you rate this a 9, I'll disown you. Just saying.
No, he's warming it up now.
He's warming it up. He's getting ready.
All right.
What you got, Chris?
It felt like to me watching this movie, like it was actively trying to make me not watch it. It took two attempts, which is not crazy for me because I have mental deficiencies of sometimes where I'm just like, I can't watch this whole movie right now. I got to take a break. I got to go to sleep. I got to do anything. And it happens sometimes. It just does. So I just was not enraptured by much of anything. But there were funny parts if you want to find them, which was fun. But it just didn't have a lot in there that really was horror, first off, and like to me entertaining second off. But I thought, some of the shots were all right. Some of the underwater shots were less than all right. But not even just the shots, but specifically the shots of her trying to not drown is what it looked like to me. 2.5. I'll give it a 2.5. I give it an extra 0.5 just so it beats Wolfman.
Dave, what you got?
First, let me say that I have predicted everybody's scores. I've already put my score down. I did tweak my score a little bit tonight, but I started with the score down before we ever got online tonight. I did tweak it a little bit, and then as we went through the show, before any ratings, before Chris, I predicted Chris at a 2.5. So let me just say that. Take that small victory. Like I said, I wonder if the pressure, because there is a whole thing right now of taking non-horror IPs and making horror movies out of them. The Mickey Mouse, the mean one with the Grinch, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. One was terrible. It has one has one redeeming kill. Don't watch the movie, just watch the one kill. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 is it is horror action centric. So there are some lulls where you get Christopher Robin's story. Spoiler alert: he's a resident ER physician at the local hospital. But I don't know that actually spoils anything. But anyway, the Poohverse is really shaping up good. There's more Bambi trailers out. I haven't watched them. I'm a one trailer Tom.
He keeps saying that. He keeps watching multiple trailers though.
I know. No. I've been really good. Sometimes I'm forced. If I'm at the movie theater, of course I'm going to watch the fucking trailers. What am I going to do? Turn around and stick my head into the fucking back of the seat? But I've not watched any trailers for The Long Walk because I don't need to. I'm in. If I'm in on the movie, one trailer's it. Bring Her Back, the new A24 horror movie. I'm fucking in. That's it. Him, the new Jordan Peele movie. One trailer, I'm in. I don't need to watch more. So, but the Poohverse is really shaping up for something. The Peter Pan movie looks really good. The Bambi movie looks way better than it has any business to be. And this, I felt like I felt like it met its potential. Like some of those IPs are just not going to. You can milk them as much as you want, but there ain't no milk to be had from a trans male cow. So this is probably it's milked. It's as milked as an almond can get. That being said, I thought making this a Dagon-esque movie, the references were okay. I'd like to see more. You don't have to do Dagon. If you think of the Little Mermaid cartoon, her dad was the god of the sea, this Poseidon figure. That's horrifying enough. Or Ursula. You have Ursula, the villain from The Little Mermaid, who I think is terrifying. So you had options there as well. I think the above ground scenes were shot Well, the cameras seem nice. They don't look. It doesn't look like trash. I think that the actors let the director down a little bit, and when you're on a tight budget, you don't have time to recast. You don't have time to give me 10 takes or do a Stanley Kubrick where we're going to spend all day on one scene. We'll do it 110 times till you have a fucking emotional breakdown because I want the rawness of the scene. You don't have that with a smaller budget. So I absolutely am influenced as well by how graciously Scott has been with email this week. Because I have fired off emails at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's responded, and I wait 24 hours before I'm sending another fucking email. And instead of being like, damn, this motherfucker could have asked all these questions at one time. No. Gracious. Suggested, because I always ask when we talk to directors and writers, I always like to ask, do you have advice for people breaking into the industry? He said, it's really rough out there now, but just keep practicing. Throw away the old rules. You don't need to wait until you can pay a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing just to feel like you're doing a real movie. I made Mermaid with a tiny crew, and it was good enough to get bought by Lionsgate. Just keep focusing on story and doing stuff that's out there. The world doesn't need another slasher film that isn't well thought out. We need good stories with good ideas, which kind of harkens back to what Ty West said at Horror Hound, where he said slasher movies are very tropey. Set them up and knock them down. But I think this movie actually would have benefited from more of a slasher vibe.
Yeah.
So I think that you can't. People like fucking slashers. That's like the trope too of creatives. Like I'm doing real horror. I'm not doing a slasher. I love fucking slashers. What's wrong with a good slasher movie?
Right.
So I am totally influenced by his graciousness, and I do normally rate high. I probably gave this an extra point for his graciousness, but I ended up at a 5, which is that's pretty low for me. But I did end up at a 5. I feel like that's pretty fair. He's created more movies than I have. This movie is more movies created than I've ever created.
Jeff,
you're up.
You're up next.
Oh. So yeah, that's thing. I think the only redeeming quality of the film is how well it is shot. There's been movies that have been better acted that have been shot horribly, and you have to get past that. This was shot really nicely, like you said, above water. It's just the acting wasn't there for any of it, which is sad. I mean, they could have been so much better. They just would have picked something. They could have made this into a big trilogy, stemming out from one thing and going to something else. Just felt like they did too much at once. So I give it a 1.
My sweet lord. That may be the lowest of all time.
Jeff's cold blooded.
Tim.
Okay.
What happens now?
I know. That's what I'm saying. Jeff and I disagree on this point. The plot was good. It wasn't well acted. It wasn't well directed. I thought the writing was okay. It was not well edited. There there's a lot of problems in this movie. It just, much like Chris, I didn't want to mention this before I gave my final rating. It felt like it was pushing me away from the movie. I'm literally like playing Hearthstone on my other monitor over here. I kept having to pause the movie to fucking play my moves on Hearthstone. Like, I was like not invested whatsoever. I really, really appreciated the skin peeling moment in the movie. I really liked that. I thought it was great. It does not account for the rest of the movie. I thought the actress was really good. She gave this like sort of dusky, sort of like, I am evil, but I don't want to let him know I'm evil, sort of like aspect to it. I like that. She was definitely high on LSD for a lot of those scenes. Her pupils were the size of fucking milk saucers. Watch the movie again, if you want to. She was high as fuck. High as fuck. So, there's that. I gave it a 2.5. I watched this movie and I was like, I feel bad that I made these guys watch this movie. I felt bad about it. I was like, oh fuck. Oh, this is fucking tummy turning right now. I do, to Dave's credit, I do like how much the director like responded to our questions, and the director, I'm not giving him a 2.5. I'm giving him a solid 6. But as a director, don't put out trash. Like, you had to have watched this movie and said, this is trash. Final say, set it aside. Like, don't put out trash. Like, no matter how much money you get, put out something you're proud of, and I cannot imagine you're proud of this one. I cannot imagine it. So,
Bam! Boom! Roasted! Get that Lee Winnell. Or Lee Johnson. What's his name? Mark Henry. I don't know.
Lee Scott.
Lee Scott. Tim, you are muted as the day a baby was born.
there we go. Jeff gave more fucking vitriol to my fucking me muted than he's ever given ever.
We're going full machine. Run your fingers through my hair.
You guys are nude? What were you doing with Percy? I gave him $14 to be here, and
Wouldn't you like to know? I don't have the ice holes cut out of this thing, so I can't see.
I don't know what we're doing
Fair enough.
next week, so we'll just see what it is when we get there.
Empty Man. Empty
Oh.
Man.
Here you
And
go.
it was your pick, Chris.
It was my pick. All right, so watch that.
Solid.
Come back, and we'll talk about it then. So,
Later on, bye.
bye.